create this shot, I was using 4 light sources. In this case, there were 4 speedlights, and as light modifiers, I was using 2 strip boxes, 2 snoots, and 2 just simple white cardboards, and 1 diffusion panel, 1 scrim. The general idea behind this shot was to play with contrast, because this bottle almost golden, so I wanted to enhance these golden tones even more. So that's why I chose black background. Actually, as background I was using simple small stones. I painted using black airbrush and just put it on this surface, and bottle laying on these stones, and there's nothing fancy behind it. As I wanted to create a really sharp, really standing out image, I decided that I have to put really bright light spots on this bottle to create as much drama as I can. And for this purpose, white cardboard suits really well, because light being bounced from such surface doesn't come really, it's not actually really harsh, and it's not really diffused, so that's exactly the look which I want to get. As you can see, I tweaked a position of the can to make sure that it's laying straight relatively to the camera. Please pay attention to that, because it will be quite hard to fix it in a post-production if let's say the can you shoot will be kinda rotated in the wrong direction, or you will realize that label is not actually looking straight to the camera, so it will be quite hard to fix. I put my first light source to the scene. This is a speedlight, this is a snoot and a small grid on the end. And as you can see, the reflection from the cardboard is barely visible. That's because the spot is not in the right place. And I'm trying to fix it by moving the speedlight, trying to find the right angle for the highlight. And after a couple of trials and errors, I think I'm good at this point. I use exactly the same approach for the lower part of the can. So I'm gonna put the same white cardboard on the top of it, and I'm gonna also add another light source to kind of create a new highlight on the can. So as you can see here, the highlight on the can is kind of really bare visible, so I have to tweak my position of the speedlight to make this highlight a bit more noticeable and more bright. So I just continue to tweak my light source until I'm happy with the result, and it's completely up to you to decide where to stop. Just evaluate your result and ask yourself, is it good or not? Probably that's the only one, the way to evaluate. In the next step, I have to bring more volume to that bottle to reveal the volume, the shape of it. So the obvious, I'm gonna add one more light source on the right side to create some sort of gradient. And for that, I'm gonna add the diffusion panel on the right side. It's not that big, but it will be enough to cover the whole surface of the can. And behind this diffusion panel, I'm gonna add the strip box. And here is some detail. I removed the outer diffusion layer of that strip box. This gives me a bit more hard light. This is the look exactly I want for this can. You can actually experiment. You can try to shoot with that outer diffusion layer and without it, and decide for yourself what suits best for your needs. In my case, the strip box slightly touched the diffusion panel. You may try to find different angles and different positions of that strip box to create the gradient you want. A final light source will be the same strip box, but at this time with the outer diffusion layer, and I'm going to put it on the left to create bright highlight on the left side of the can. So here we are, core lighting setup is done, and I have to tweak maybe position of diffusion panel, maybe tweak some light sources to make sure that everything is okay and I do not have some unnecessary reflections on the can because I don't want to waste my time on post, because I know that I can fix it on production. So I use small piece of aluminum foil to highlight areas which I think are relatively dark, and also to bring some highlights on a can. And I'm gonna use all these shots later. So your task on the during the shooting is to create as much shot as possible. So later you will have a lot of material to choose from. Just experiment with the angles position of this tiny reflector. Try to put it in some, I don't know, unusual places, to reveal details in some dark areas, Overall, just experiment and see what works best for you. Finally, I'm gonna get a couple shots of a background, so I'm gonna use them in my composition, because I'm not satisfied with the results which I get from basic lighting setup, so I'm gonna get additional shots just to make sure that I have all necessary parts to create a great image at the end. I'm gonna show you how I retouched this shot in the second part, so thanks for watching and see you!